Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the May 13th, 2024 Board of Education meeting. Could we have a roll call, please?
Here. Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Thank you. The first item on the agenda is written communication. Dr. Davis, do we have any written communication?
We have no written communication this evening.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is comments from the public. Do we have any comments from the public?
Yes, we do. We have one comment from the public, and let me read my introductions to public comment, and then I'll call that person up. Speakers who have signed up for public comment will be invited in the order that they signed up to address the board for up to 3 minutes. I will keep time and signal you at the end of 2 minutes as a courtesy. I will let you know it is time to stop at the 3-minute mark in the event that becomes necessary. Speakers are asked to come forward and speak at the lectern. Please state your name and address. Public comments generally pertain to school district matters, but comments about any individuals are expressly prohibited. Please understand that the school board does not respond to public comments, but will listen carefully and will follow up as the board deems appropriate. Our first public comment this evening is Joel Sternstein.
Hi, my name is Joel Sternstein. I live on Main Street in Evanston. My son is a rising junior here. I'm addressing the comments from the April 8th board meeting regarding the Change.org petition concerning the war in Gaza. First, I want to say that I very much regret the deaths in Gaza, and those deaths are all human beings, both Israeli and Palestinian. However, the fact remains that Hamas started this war on 10/7, funneled by money from Iran and the United Nations and others. And Israel, to survive, has no choice but to finish the war. What is extremely regrettable is that Hamas uses its own citizens as human shields. Unfortunately, the comments made by community members and parents here on April 8th were riddled with lies and half-truths. The speakers said that parents are weaponizing their Jewish identity and are engaged in oppression, silencing, and censorship of ETHS staff. This is false. Many Jewish parents are concerned that some teachers here are presenting a one-sided view of the conflict. Jewish parents are concerned that their kids are afraid to speak their minds and show their Jewish identity. While educators here are entitled to their own opinions, when they are at school, they must teach. Section 6.70 of the ETHS School Board Policy Manual says that when teaching about religion, educators shall give neither preferential nor derogatory treatment to any religious belief. Section 6.80 on teaching controversial issues states that the educators must present a balanced, academic, and well-researched view and respect the rights and opinions of everyone. If teachers here are promoting a learning environment at ETHS that is openly hostile to Jewish students, that behavior must be stopped. Many of the speakers here on April 8th spoke of Zionists as the enemy and sought to separate Zionists from Jews. A Zionist is someone who advocates for an independent Jewish state where Jews can live safely. As of 2021, the Pew Research Center reported that 82% of American Jews see the state of Israel as important or essential to their Jewish identity. At the end of the Passover Seder, Jews say next year in Jerusalem. When you demean Zionists, you demean the overwhelming majority of American Jews. This is unacceptable. Speakers on April 8th said that support for Israel is the equivalent of white supremacy. This is also false. According to Wikipedia, 25% of Jews in Israel trace their country of origin to Africa and other parts of Asia, including other countries in the Middle East.
1 minute.
There are almost 2 million Arabs who are citizens of Israel. 168,000 Jews of Ethiopian descent live in Israel. And as of 2019, the Tel Aviv Pride Parade is the largest in Asia with 250,000 participants. Israel is one of the most diverse and tolerant countries on the planet. The April 8th speakers said that there is genocide in Gaza. Again, also false. There is a war in Gaza, and both soldiers and civilians on both sides of the conflict are dying. Genocide, the term coined by Raphael Lemkin towards the end of World War II, is the killing of an entire race of people. 340,000 Palestinians lived in the Gaza Strip in 1970, and as of 2021, there were over 2 million. While the deaths of 24,000 Palestinians is a tragedy, it is not genocide. I've witnessed 2 panel discussions at churches, one in January in Glenview and one in April in Evanston, where young Israelis and Palestinians traveled to the U.S. to talk about peace, about putting aside ancient blood feuds and disputes behind them, about living peacefully side by side. No intifadas, no rockets, no military occupation. Why can't ETHS sponsor sessions like this? Thank you.
Time. And that concludes public comment for this evening.
Thank you. So I'd just like to say, and I say this after each public comment session, the board would like to acknowledge members of our community that have taken the time to provide public comments at this board meeting. So thank you very much for doing that. We recognize that this requires you to take time out of your day to prepare your remarks and to attend our meeting. In addition, for so many people, sometimes addressing the board in such a public setting may be stepping outside of your comfort zone. So we want to acknowledge that as well. Thank you again for taking the time to attend the board meeting and for providing the comments for our board. Thank you. All right, so we'll go right ahead with our meeting. The next item is items for information, and we're starting with student recognition, the DECA International Competition.
All righty. We're going to ask Jenny Weber, one of our DECA sponsors, to come on up and recognize our DECA students for the incredible job that they've done this year. Jenny?
You guys can just like line up. Line up and face the board. Yep, you just face them, face them. Don't be shy. It's like a role play where you're presenting. All right. What's that? Okay, okay. All right. Good evening. It is with great honor that I'm able to stand here before you to recognize these students who have dedicated so much of their own time in DECA. These students started working on their 20-page marketing research plans, entrepreneurship plans, community giving, and community awareness projects, or their 10 to 20-page business plans within the first 2 weeks of school starting. They dedicated their lunch periods, free periods, coming in before and after school to work on these projects. In January, these students began to practice their presentations with me starting as early as 7 a.m. That's very early for a lot of them. They have spent time before and after school taking practice tests and practicing their role plays in preparation for competition as well. As you might know, DECA is a high school competitive business club where students can compete in role plays and written competition. This past February, 32 students attended the Illinois Career Development Conference in Rosemont that hosted over 1,800 high school students from ETHS. That's our largest state conference to date. I had the pleasure of working with 20 of these students individually. It's my pleasure to notify you that of those 20 students, all 20 placed top 10, and all 20 placed top 3 in their event, in their written event at the state competition. In addition, we had 8 students place top 10 in their role play event. One of those students placed in the top 4 at state. That student, along with the 20 written winners, earned the opportunity to compete at the international competition that hosted over 19,000 high school students from across the United States, as well as from other countries such as Mexico, Guam, Spain, China, Germany, Brazil, and a lot of other countries that I can't remember, that was hosted in Anaheim, California. So just kind of going over their projects and their accomplishments. When I call your name, just kind of say hey so they know who we're talking about. The following students placed at the Grand Awards ceremony at state competition. Students who placed in the top 4 for their role play event advanced to the international competition. Students who placed in the top 3 of the written event advanced to the international competition that took place April 26th through May 1st. So for Franchise a Business Plan, we had Campbell and Monroe who earned first place for writing a business plan for purchasing franchise rights to Fonseca Martial Arts and developing a plan to open up a location in Barrington, Illinois. Next, we had Maisie, who earned second place for purchasing franchise rights to Crossroads and developing a plan to open up a location in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. Our next events were business operations events. The first category was sports and entertainment marketing. Aiden and Josh earned second place in developing a plan to help recruit, hire, and retain employees for the company Level Up. The next business operations research event was hospitality and tourism. Lane and Stav earned first place in developing a plan to help recruit, hire, and retain employees for the company DeSalvo's Pizza. Business service operations research event. Anthony and Shane earned first place in developing a plan to help recruit, hire, and retain employees for the company Paramount Plus. Eli and Dante earned second place in developing a plan to help recruit, hire, and retain employees for the company Northern Bay Contractors. The next event category was Community Awareness Project. Max and Theo earned first place in the Community Awareness Project, where they developed a campaign to create awareness about gun safety at Evanston Township High School. These students met with administration, students, teachers, and community members and developed a panel to create awareness about what the school is currently doing to create a safe environment. The next one was Community Giving Project. Kathleen and Maya earned first place in the Community Giving Project. They partnered up with Fora and developed a tutoring system for younger students. ETHS high school students had to go through a specific training prior to working with these kids before they could go ahead and tutor the students at Fora. The next category was Independent Business Plan. Caleb earned first place in developing a business called Mom's Muscle Muffins. These muffins, they're actually delicious from what I hear. These muffins were created for the athlete that needed a healthy, high-protein snack. The next one was Kate and Celeste, who earned second place, where they developed a business called Resport. Their business focused on used sports equipment that was targeted for the female athlete. The next category was Start Up a Business Plan. Eddie earned second place in that category. Eddie created a Riverside Inn located in Des Plaines, Illinois, where he decided to open up a bed and breakfast inn targeting families and individuals who wanted to have a feel of a stay-at-home that wasn't the typical hotel vibe. Ellie did our international business plan. Ellie earned first place in the international business plan, where she created a business in French called Besoin 24. I think that's how you say it, yes? Yes. Besoin 24 is a 24-hour convenience store that carries groceries along with any other everyday essentials you might need. This is something that currently does not exist in France. And then our role play winner, Jesse. Jesse took first place in the Principles of Marketing. He is our solo role play competitor at the international competition, so congratulations to you on that one. We don't have the results from the international competition in terms of if students earned an 80% or higher on their event or their test/role play. Those should be coming in the next couple days. On a final note, I would like to thank my co-advisors, Mitten Patel and Chris Manila. Their work with the role play individuals has been outstanding. Lastly, I would like to thank you, the board, for continuing to allow us to continue to run DECA here at ETHS. The opportunities as well as the experience that these students get from the conferences are truly amazing, and it's something that they're going to carry on for the rest of their life. So thank you again for your continuous support.
Students, before you leave, we're gonna come around. Oh, you're getting their pictures, okay. Sorry. No, I'm not. Go ahead.
Parents, you can come up here and take a picture. Come, parents, come
Parents,
up.
come behind us
come
so
on
that
up,
you can get a good place.
Looking here. Looking here. 1, 2, 3. Looking right here, guys. 1, 2.
No.
All right. Let's try one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Okay, our sponsors.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's try it again.
Beautiful.
Looking here. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, stay there for the parents.
So stay there. The board's going to stand. We're going to shake your hands as you come around, and we have a gift for you tonight to say congratulations.
Did everybody get their picture, though?
Everybody, okay, all right.
Yep, just going.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, thank you so much. Congratulations. 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 Got it right on time.
Yes, perfect timing. Dr. Campbell, I was going to tell them they all have to stay till the end, but that was a mean joke.
You all are free to go, to go home.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. All right. So I think we're going to keep going. So we are at the sustainability update. Just going to introduce this.
Great.
Yes.
So we're going to have John Crawford
Mr.
and
Crawford.
Kim Menestra and a group of students to come and share a little bit about our sustainability efforts. I'm going to turn this over to John and Kim.
I'm John Crawford, Director of Operations and Sustainability.
I'm Milo Slevin. I'm an outgoing senior at Evanston Township High School.
I'm Drexa Edinburgh, current junior at ETHS, who is involved with E-Town Sunrise.
I'm Kim Menestra, the Director of Nutrition Services.
And we're going to report on sustainability at ETHS. So the highlight of our year was definitely the passing of the ETHS Green New Deal sustainability policy. I just want to say a couple thank yous. First to the school board, thank you for not only supporting the policy, but recognizing the importance of creating a policy and putting it in place. You know, 10, 20, 30 years from now, when everyone in this room is a different person, we have the confidence that they'll be making their decisions based on the policy we passed this year. So I thank you for that. Administration, thank you for being involved throughout this whole process. Administration presence at our sustainability committee meetings is uplifting to our students, staff, and community, that this has merit and that everyone's involved. And lastly, but not least, thank you to the students, staff, community members, City of Evanston, District 65, industry experts for their commitment, their time, their effort, sharing their vision, sharing their expertise. I really appreciate everything that we have done. We could celebrate what we have done, and we have done some good things this year, but there is a lot of work to do. So on to the work. Goal number 1 of the policy calls for a sustainability plan and a scorecard. That's something that we developed. We have some of the plan here, it was in your packet. We're going to outline specific strategies and actions to meet the overall goals stated in the policy, provide metrics of resource consumption as well as emissions, and student involvement and experts in the field are key to developing this plan. We've established subcommittees for each goal that include students, staff, the community, and technical experts. Each subcommittee is tasked with developing baseline data, resources outside of energy use, and performance benchmark for greenhouse gas reduction. We're working with communications on building a public-facing web portal to report our data and in a user-friendly format where it's interactive and more entertaining than what we currently have. The subcommittees meet. We're planning on meeting on our quarterly meetings with the whole committee, but the subcommittees will meet on a monthly basis to see if our strategies are working, what needs to be tweaked, and how we're doing. Actions will be presented every year at this annual sustainability plan meeting.
All right, so goal 2 is education. So obviously that's something that hits close to home for us students and something that students are hopefully going to be engaging with on a daily and weekly basis. So Our education goal states that ETHS will incorporate sustainability into the educational curriculum and employee training so that upon graduation, all ETHS students will have a foundational understanding of the causes, impacts, and solutions to the climate crisis. Some of the things we've worked on with education are providing opportunities for professional development outside of the classroom that reflect the ETHS Green New Deal sustainability policy. So whether that's, speakers coming into the hub and talking about sustainability, opening up on school links, sustainability career pathways, things of that nature. New employees will be presented with the ETHS Green New Deal sustainability policy and plan as part of the onboarding process. Create a multidiscipline teacher working group to develop sustainability-based curriculum across multiple subjects. This is something that we've already started working on. We passed the framework for, with the help of Dr. Bavis and some of the people in this room, we developed curriculum for freshman biology and sophomore civics classes that is being implemented now by teachers across those departments, and we're hoping to continue that work. Create a sustainability toolkit that the teachers and staff can use in their areas to conserve energy resources, waste, and conserve water. Recognize and highlight student, staff, and community efforts in supporting the ETHS Green New Deal sustainability policy and plan.
Greenhouse gas reductions. So ETHS commits to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and energy resources following the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Our goals we set were 45% reduction by 2030, 80% by 2040, and 100% by 2050. And these are based off of our 2018 levels. All new buildings and facilities will be constructed factoring in our commitment to these goals, and energy resources include the campus as well as transportation fleet. We're going to continue our participation in the ComEd Nicor Gas SEM. It's been the key factor into our current energy reduction. LED lighting upgrades, we do it every year. We're doing another 500 this summer. At the end of this summer, we'll have about 1,000 left, which probably around 2 years will be done. We're developing a detailed energy roadmap that factors in energy efficiency upgrades, solar, renewable energy procurement, and electrification of our current steam systems. Installation of variable frequency drives and energy efficient motors. We have over 100 constant volume motors in this building, if you could believe that. And installing variable drives would be a huge energy reduction. And keep building upon our energy audits and upgrades and look for ways to incorporate more efficient technologies as they become available.
So our goal number 4 in the policy was water conservation. So the official language in the policy was ETHS commits to reducing current water consumption and increasing water use efficiency throughout ETHS. Some ways that we're doing that are we are working on adding submetering to better track our current water usage. And we are having any renovations and new buildings facilities that will be constructed factoring in these new commitments to reducing water consumption. And we're also electrifying and right-sizing our current domestic hot water systems and doing a yearly steam trap audit to reduce boiler makeup water usage as well as lost steam capacity, and electrifying the current steam absorption chillers, which need to be replaced due to age, and air-cooled condensers to replace water-cooled condensers. Yeah. And then goal number 5 was waste, which the official language there is ETHS commits to reducing non-energy waste to landfills by 50% by 2030, 75% by 2035, and becoming zero waste by 2045, which closely mirrors CARP, the city's Climate Action and Resilience Plan. Waste includes, but is not limited to, landscape waste, food, paper, plastics, and building materials. So we'll periodically review the procedures for reducing solid waste generated by academic, administrative, food service, groundskeeping, cleaning, and other institutional functions with the goal of maximizing diversion from landfills and reducing waste at the source. So what we're doing right now to reach that goal is we're working with some industry experts to perform a full waste audit, which will happen in the fall of 2024 to develop a baseline for waste. We are improving our current composting practices by educating students, teachers, and faculty. We also, as students, created some banners to make the waste sorting stations in the cafeterias more visible. And South Cafe will be the summer school lunchroom, so we'll use that to kind of prototype some different things that might help students learn how to compost better and correctly divert their waste. And then also renovations will prioritize the reuse, repurpose, recycling, or restoring of materials and equipment to divert landfill waste. And we will continue to try to reduce our single-use plastics.
Goal number 6 is food. By January 2025, we hope to include at least one locally sourced and freshly cooked plant-based menu item per meal service. We're currently doing a lot of that right now. By January 2030, source 25% of its food locally, prepare 50% of the meals from scratch, and offer a minimum of 50% plant-based options. That logo up there, we plan to denote any food that is vegetarian, vegan, and then we'll also be expanding that into halal and kosher meals as well. How we plan to get there, we took what we call the Food Forward Pledge. It's a resource that's highlighted through the Humane Society to assist us with culinary training programs, custom recipes and menu development, and environmental impact measurement. There's a training right there with our new chopper, with our staff.
All right, goal number 7 is healthy in/outdoor environments. So the goal states healthy indoor and outdoor environments. ETHS commits to providing healthy indoor and outdoor environments to our students, staff, and the community. All right, so all indoor improvements in new buildings/facilities will align with our commitment to healthy indoor environments and implementing indoor environmental quality measures that include air quality, lighting, thermal comfort, acoustics, and ergonomics. Any improvements to outdoor spaces will align with our commitment to healthy, sustainable outdoor environments. ETHS will endeavor to increase native tree, shrub, rain garden, and pollinator plantings across the campus to improve biodiversity, stormwater management, and opportunities for curricular connections. I can also add to that, I've been involved with that subcommittee that we've been working on the last few months, and we've talked about things like creating an outdoor classroom spaces and generally getting students outside more and getting students more interacting with the nature that we have around us. Goal number 8 is purchasing. So ETHS will create a sustainability purchasing plan that factors this policy's zero waste goals into purchasing decisions, procedures, and specifications. So ETHS will periodically review its procurement procedures and specifications for alignment with the goals of the ETHS Green New Deal. ETHS will provide targeted solutions to minimize waste, encourage environmentally friendly supply chains, and look for innovative solutions in the general field of energy, water, construction, HVAC, lighting, maintenance, landscaping, food services, transportation, information technology, paper products, and refuse. In fulfilling our commitments to environmental stewardship, all purchasing should meet or exceed guidelines for environmentally preferred purchasing set by the US EPA or one of the peer-reviewed sustainable product rating programs. And the last one is a big one, create a sustainability budget account to track current and future sustainability measurements. And that way we're keeping better track of what we're saving and what we're able to hopefully funnel into sustainability measures in the future.
Also, Kendra taught Milo about Fund 10, Fund 20, Fund 60, so
yeah.
He's
truly a pleasure in my last week of high school.
So how are we doing? So SEM is our main electrical and natural gas reduction. And this year, we reduced our electricity by over 284,000 kilowatt hours, which is a 3.3% yearly reduction. But add that to what we've been doing since 2019, and we've saved over 2 million kilowatt hours for a 23.1% reduction from baseline. And the natural gas, this year we've saved 38,000 therms for a 4.3% yearly reduction. but added to all the years, we're over 386,000 for a 34.7% reduction from baseline. Greenhouse gas emissions, 349 tons of CO2 reduced for a 4% yearly savings, and added in 3,815 tons of CO2 for a 35% greenhouse gas reduction. And Kendra's favorite slide, how are we doing avoided costs, right? So electricity this year, we over $190,000 in avoided costs. Natural gas, $193,000. Part of the SEM is we get an incentive check for our yearly savings, and this year it added to $19,962 for a total of over $403,000.
So some updates of kind of how we're doing, some highlights. So far we've had 520 LED light replacements through ISBE. They do a $50K matching grant, and we do it in-house, so the labor is not outsourced to anyone. It's just the engineers from here. We are repurposing any LED lights that are removed through renovations, and they get sent to something called the Alumni Hall Project. And all student Chromebooks are EPEAT certified gold or silver, which is just a certification. And landscaping is now 100% electric/battery powered, and the landscaping waste is composted, so that's pretty cool. As of October 2023, we had 21 native trees that got planted. On July 1st, 2024, operations is switching to Pathosands, which is a chemical-free cleaning disinfectant, which is like salt-based and electricity and water. It's some interesting chemistry thing. And the SEM Public Sector Alumni Cohort, which is a bunch of, there's 6 different high schools, 2 different colleges, a municipality, 2 correctional facilities, and 2 hospitals that we're kind of competing against to get us to be more energy efficient. So that's just kind of, we got first place out of those groups, and total therms savings, and also percentage of therms, and we got second place in kilowatt hour percentage.
Okay, so how the food committee is doing. We tried to start with some low-hanging fruit right off the bat, and some of the smaller catering events or events that are outside of the lunchroom, we switched immediately to 25 people or less to reusable dinnerware and silverware and things like that. We also don't allow anyone to order water bottles anymore, and they have to get the bulk water. Or we have stainless steel bottles, which are much more expensive, so most choose the bulk. And then inside of the lunchroom, some of you may know, we moved from the cartons to the bulk dispensers. And then also, we are not doing any individually wrapped packets of condiments anymore. Everything is bulk and in bottles.
All right, so the big question is, how are we funding all of this, and how will we continue to fund all of this? So continued strategic energy management opportunities, no to low-cost measures. Savings from current projects will help fund future projects. If you notice, we've saved quite a bit recently, thanks to Mr. Crawford and others. ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, we can get rebates for lighting, HVAC, kitchen equipment. NICOR Gas Rebates Program, rebates for boiler tune-ups, pipe installation, steam trap audits. ISBE School Maintenance Project Grant is $50,000 matching grant for energy efficiency projects. Illinois Shine / Illinois Solar for all incentives for solar installation. And I'll add that and this is in combination with the last point, which is that the Inflation Reduction Act and just government grants provide a lot, like really a lot of money for taking sustainability measures. And so this is a really great opportunity that I hope you all take full advantage of in the future. So we can get tax credits for solar thermal energy storage. I could also just take this moment as we start to wrap up. I know this is the last slide I was assigned to. Yeah, I know, but the last one I'm doing. Just like a bit of a reflection on like our time here, and just I hope that you're noticing from this presentation that this is not just about like a group of community members, a group of students, a group of teachers, but we really want this to be like integrated into the framework of ETHS, and we want every student to leave with a fundamental concept of what is climate change, to have been well educated on this in their classrooms. This is something that is really important. Students need to be equipped for what the future holds, which is a bit scary. It's very scary. And I hope that you all can continue to invest time and resources into these measures. It's really important for students to learn in an environment that models the future that they're trying to create. So if that's just what I'll leave you all with.
All right, so looking ahead, which kind of adding off of what Milo was just saying, outreach is really, really key. So I did mention that there's a waste audit coming in fall of 2024. We will try to get like lots of students and community members involved with that to, one, make it easier because there's many hands make light work, but also to help people see kind of directly what waste goes where and why it's important that it gets where it needs to go. And then also within that outreach bullet point, we are going to be making some videos to hopefully advertise this more to the whole school, maybe like how to waste sort kind of video on Tuesday Tidbits or something. We're going to have some various events, and maybe that will be during lunch to try and get some students who might be intimidated by being a part of a subcommittee to just kind of make it really easy to get involved with, and we're trying to really uplift what we're changing to a broader audience overall. We've done a lot so far, as you can probably tell, and that's only in a couple of the past few years, so much more to come. And this committee will continue to meet regularly and create new goals that will be both short and long-term to really change the foundation of the school and really make it a more sustainable school, which is really important.
All right, questions?
Well, so first of all, I know that my colleagues will join me in just saying thank you to all of you. Thank you to the students and your committee. You've brought us so far in the last few years. I'm looking at, how we're doing those slides and where we were and how we've come, how far we've come and how much we've saved from 2019 till now, and we'll just continue looking at that. You've got the audit coming up, and I just really just want to say how much I appreciate what you've done, how much I've learned from you. So thank you so much, and what you're doing for your colleagues and for your peers, and showing them basically what they can do and how they can do this, and demonstrating and coming up with different ways of teaching them will just make such a difference. So really, I appreciate what you've done so far. So questions, Pat?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you, add to what Pat said. I've been on the board long enough that there was a few years ago where there were a lot of students at the podium telling us we weren't doing enough. And part of that, in fairness, was we weren't communicating what we were doing, because we knew from Kendra's predecessor that there were a lot of things going on that just weren't as well communicated. So that was part of it. But what you have done has taken us to a whole different place. And I feel like what you just did is the best of what I believe ETH is, that there's all these great students who are smart and articulate and have passion, that have worked with these wonderful leaders in our building, professional leaders, teachers, and working on the education and impacting like the civics class. Like, how brilliant is that? And I know you worked with Dr. Bavis on that, but working together and listening to our students is what I believe the best of what we are at ETHS. And so I'm just thrilled, and I'm really grateful to all of you. And Milo, I just want you to know that Kendra gets us a little crazy too. But usually she waits till 10 p.m. with us. So at least you got to talk to her earlier. No, we always tease Kendra. We love Kendra. But seriously though, what you're doing is doing the work that needs to be done in sustainability, but in a way that is financially, sustainable as well, and maybe pushes us to add a little bit more, and that's good. But these things can't be done in sort of a pie-in-the-sky way. They have to be done with the reality that Kendra brings to the table. So I just want to thank all of you and really acknowledge just what you represent in terms of the great work that can happen when students and adults in ETHS can come together. So you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Wonderful. Anybody else? Liz?
Hi, I just wanted to say, I just wanted to congratulate you all on your success so far, and I'm so proud of everybody that's been involved with this. This is such a robust plan. I can't even really fathom how robust it's become over the last couple of years. And it makes me very happy to see the progress that the school has made, and a lot of that was the vision of the students who really brought that to the school. I'm glad to see that we have a little bit of solar on the roof that's going to be happening. I was a little surprised that we only have, I think it said 9 roofs that we can put solar on, but, I know we have a lot of stuff up there, so that makes sense. I did have a question. I was just curious, do we have anything that's coal-powered on our properties? And if we don't? Okay. I wasn't sure if that's what the corner power plant was run on or not.
That's natural gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, guys.
Yep. It does have the old coal hoppers, though, if you ever want to take a tour.
Yeah.
Just adding a really brief comment, and that is, I just wanted to also, in terms of talking about the robust plan, I think that your plan is a really good model for all of us in terms of how clear, delineated it is in its goals, and the idea that you have the scorecard and you're going to have that public facing and be very clear about what you're achieving, what you need to tweak, how you're getting to your goals. It's really impressive, and I think is a lesson for everybody.
Gretchen?
I just wanted to say I was minding my own business in my kitchen the other day and listening to WBEZ, and up pops Milo. So I thought that was kind of fun. And you did a tremendous job. It was very unexpected. I felt like you needed a press release or something to let us know that was coming. And I was glad I caught it. But I think you can go back and get the recording, because you probably sent it to Mom and Dad and Grandma and Grandpa and all that, right? Anyway, it was a terrific, opportunity to highlight the good work that you guys have done. And I do appreciate your work, in particular, Milo. I happened to be at the policy committee meeting where I think it was just Pat and I. And
Yeah.
we had a very small turnout, and there was Milo, and you, of course, you were there, and, we got to get the preview of the policy. So thanks and congratulations, all of you, for the good work.
Great. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for this. And we look forward to the monitoring and the audit and just continuing to hear about how this is unfolding. So thank you. All right. So moving forward with our meeting, the next item on the agenda is the first reading from the press policy issue number 114. Dr. Davis, do we have any comments about this?
Just a couple. One is, this is the first reading, press 114, policies are in your packet. You will notice that there are several asterisks next to some policies. Those indicate that we are under attorney review, and I've been in touch with our attorneys, and we will have answers for that before the final vote, and I'll brief everybody on those changes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, the next item is the adjustment to student fees. And I believe Kendra's going to lead that. I know, right? It's really early for you. I hope you can do this.
Keep it going, Kendra.
Uh-oh.
right, good evening, board.
Good evening.
So, myself, Rudy, we're here this evening to talk to you about a proposal to adjust student fees. And so we just wanted to be, sorry. Be able to go through a brief presentation to explain some of the rationale behind the proposal. And then this is just kind of the roadmap of where we'll be going today. And then if you have any questions, we'll go through those as well. So just as a brief background for student fees, of course we know that, you know, everyone has a right to a free and public education, but the Illinois statute does permit public school districts to charge students a fee for the use of textbooks and fees for consumable materials and supplies that are used in the course of a student's education. And so we have used this tool not to cover all costs. By no means do student fees cover like all the costs associated with a student's education here, but to help defray some of the costs that occur through different programs in the school. And so just wanted to clear up that like a student registration fee is not tuition. If you look at ours, the Illinois State Report Card for the district, it is actually about $26,000 when you look at the operating cost per student. $26,000 is what that amount is. And so if we were to charge tuition, that's what that would look like, and that's not at all what's happening with the student fee bills that we have. And so also just to give some context, student fees are less than 1% of our total budget. So we'll have another slide where we kind of talk about the financial impact later on, but just in terms of, you know, are you using the fees to kind of make up the budget? It's a very instrumental tool that we have to support the education and well-being of our students, but it is in no way making up like the majority of the budget or in any way all of the costs that we're using to spend on our students. So I just wanted to be really clear about those things because sometimes it does get confusing for people when they are issued a student fee bill. We want to make sure that we're transparent in what's happening with that. And so also just a little bit of background for us that over the past decade, we have significantly enhanced our educational offerings. We know that about 10 years ago, we adopted actually 10 years ago is when we began the process of our one-to-one Chromebook initiative. So it would have been in 14-15 when we started by issuing Chromebooks to freshmen. And then each year we had another class that had Chromebooks until all of our classes had them. And then also we have greatly expanded our extracurricular opportunities. We know that we had an opportunity to hear from student activities, athletics, community service about how we're just doing so much more. There's so much more opportunities for students that we know support their well-being. And so there's been a lot of advancements, a lot that we have done over the last 10 years, but in the last 10 years, we have not increased the student fee bill. So the last time that we saw an increase in that student fee bill would be in 14-15. And so it's been 10 years despite these rising costs, these expanded offerings. And so we're here to talk about an adjustment to that.
All right, good evening, everyone. So for the need for change, why change, right? Due to inflation and rising operational costs, it's crucial for us to adjust our fee structure and continue providing high quality and equitable education. So I'll get into a little bit more detail for the specifics of the change, but that is pretty much why we're here and why we want to bring this to your attention. So right now, our current fee structure for grades 10 through 12, we currently charge $340 for registration fees. Freshmen and transfer students pay a different cost. So this cost includes the uniform package, there's a heart rate monitor that's included in it, and there's also a CPR certification. So 10 through 12, they pay $340, and then our freshmen and transfer students pay $380. Those who qualify for free and reduced lunch, they pay a reduced fee, which is $25. So they don't pay the cost that our 10th through 12th graders pay, and also the freshman and transfer students. The proposed change, this is what we're proposing. We want to simplify the registration fee. We want to charge $365 for all students. The reduced rate will remain the same at $25. And this just simplifies our registration fee a little bit easier and simplifies that for us. The technology upgrade, this is an introduction of smartwatches that we want to replace our heart rate monitors with. So currently our freshmen receive a heart rate monitor their freshman year, and they use that for all 4 years. And that is included in their PE package along with their uniform and the CPR certification. So we want to introduce the smartwatches that our PE team has brought to our attention. So smartwatches, what are they? So this is what our PE team brought to our attention. Polar watches provide accurate data for fair and equitable assessment. Right now, the heart band that they currently use is strapped around their back and under their chest area. So that's what they currently use now. The PE teachers have a little device that they give to the students that gets attached to it. But now, if we go to the watches, it'll be a little bit simpler. They'll just put it on their wrist and they'll be able to get accurate data and all the stuff that they use for PE through that. It promotes equal recognition and transparency in PE activities. It also allows our students to monitor and manage their fitness efforts. And this also helps us on the financial side, where a lot of our students currently, if they lose their heart rate band, they'll need to go to the PE office to purchase a new one if they lose it. And that's an additional cost, and sometimes that's a burden for some of our students who might not be able to afford it. So being able to have these watches also helps eliminate that issue within our PE department. So here's a little bit of the structure and what we kind of want our fees to be laid out through all 4 years for our students. So currently, it's the $380, as mentioned before. That is for our freshmen and transfer students. Our sophomores, juniors, and seniors will pay $340. All right, and that's the current structure right now. All 4 years, the total of that is $1,400. The proposed fee structure, we're proposing that they don't pay the $380 when they start. It'll be $365 for all 4 years. So it'll be a little bit easier just to kind of expect what to pay every year for the school year. And that totals out to $1,460. This increase is about 4.2% for a family over the course of 4 years. And the increase averages up to $15 per year. So that is our proposed fee structure. Fees will not increase for any of our students who are on free or reduced lunch or qualify for that fee waiver program. That will remain the same for all students who qualify for that. All right.
So, and then also, thank you, Rudy. This is why I have you, thank you. So also talking through the financial impact, like we went over the financial impact for families, but also for the district. So the current amount budgeted for fees would be $860,000 in the annual budget. And so, as I had mentioned before, that's less than 1% of the district's budget. And the proposed increase would be $31,500 is how much would be anticipated to increase the budget by. And so we're talking about 3.7% increase to the amount that's budgeted for student fees. So when we're looking at the increased cost that we've experienced with textbooks, the cost for uniforms, the cost for the smartwatches versus the heart rate bands, all of these different things, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of the last 10 years, right? So once again, this would be to help defray some of those costs, but in no way are we looking to put all of the costs off on our families. And also, remaining sensitive to the fact that we do have a population that is able to get a waiver based on the eligibility once they do the form for free and reduced lunch. And so we wanted to make sure that we kept that in mind in this, and so that's why we are putting forth a proposal that does not include increasing that fee for that population, but also allowing for us to address some of the needs of students and recognizing the benefits to some of the things that we're doing for students.
So these changes ensure that all students, regardless of economic background, similar to what Kendra just mentioned for our free reduced lunch students, have access to the same high-quality resources and opportunities that every other student we have in the district. The standardized fees promote fairness and transparency within our community. So with that, we are open to any questions that any of you may have regarding our fee structure and the proposed fees.
Also, sorry, just before we get into it, I also want to say that we do have it posted on our website, like what we use our fees for. So even though we will be having like this simplified fee structure, we will still continue to have that transparency available on our website. If anybody ever wanted to look on there and say, well, what do the student fees even go towards? That has been available for a number of years and will continue to be available. So I just wanted to put that out there. And one more plug before we go into questions. And just as we're talking about student fees, I want to make sure I told Taya that I would do the plug to make sure that all families are encouraged to return their textbooks, because we find that a lot of fees that are charged are actually for textbooks that don't get returned. Maybe the student didn't understand that they needed to return it at the end of the year. And so I want to make sure that everybody knows, please return your textbooks. Please watch out for, return your calculators, because those things add up. And before you know it, you have more fees in books than you have in actual fees, right? Like registration fees. And then also, the other plug that I will put out there is please also complete the form that we were mentioning, that household form regarding your income, because that is the best way for us to identify students that may be eligible for a waiver. And oftentimes, if you don't fill that form out in the year, it's not something that we can go back and do for previous years. We always look at extenuating circumstances. We have a whole different vehicle for that, for evaluating that and making sure that if somebody's in need, that we can address those situations. But just from the start, fill out the form. Let's make sure that, you know, if you qualify to have your fees waived, that we can get that done on the front end, because we don't want it to be any more of a challenge than it has to be for our families.
Thank you. Thank you for those plugs at the end. And if someone's completing a form and they have questions, do they call your office?
That's right.
Yes.
Call the business office.
Okay, call the
Always
business
happy to
office.
help. And sometimes we call you
Okay.
if we think we could be of help.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you. Questions? Gretchen?
Thanks very much. This makes sense to me. I know not everybody's happy to see fees go up, but it makes sense. And you've explained it very cogently and responded to some questions I had about the total dollar amount. My only remaining question has less to do with the fee, really, and more about these new watches and the data they collect. And I don't know if you're even the person who can respond to this question, but I'm curious about what kind of data is collected by the watches and how you protect our students' privacy in connection with that data. That may have been an issue with heart rate monitors. I don't even know, but in this day and age, it seems to me that's something we'd want to be very careful about. Do you have any information, or do we need to get that from our PE watch experts?
Yeah, they may be the best team to reach out to regarding that.
I'm giving you an out there.
But what I do know is that they serve the same purpose, right?
Sure.
It's easier for our teachers and our students to be able to access the watches rather than utilizing the heart rate.
Yeah, no argument from me on that point.
Yeah.
And I think our students probably, I mean, I saw some faces in the audience saying, oh, watches. You know, I mean, they're very savvy with the technology, and, you know, I'm wearing a smartwatch right now, so I certainly like it. It really has less to do with, you know, the fact that people use these, and because of that very usage, I think we need to be very cognizant of who can access it. And in the case of a watch like this, even more so, I think, than the heart rate monitor, it's collecting your health data. And that's, you know, a particular concern from a privacy perspective. So I would just say, maybe not to you, but I think we need to get to the bottom of that and make certain that we're taking appropriate precautions and coordinating with our tech people, maybe even. Not, you know, not to say that we're not going to do it, but this is an issue.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say yes, Gretchen. Coordination with our tech team, our IT team will ensure that, and we've got a number of ways that we already do that, so I think we'll streamline it, especially to be SOPA compliant as well. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Pat.
So I just feel that since I do tease you, Kendra, you know it's just a joke, because this is a great example of what you and your department do to really push our values-based budgeting and really focus in on the students, that we haven't raised our fees in 10 years, and that in the end, you're raising them, but for some people, it actually goes down. So they don't feel it quite as harshly. And then, of course, that we work with students and make sure that everyone, no one is shamed, that we work with everyone and figure out whatever their circumstance. So I just want to very sincerely raise up how much we appreciate that you take what we care about and what our values are and what we talk about a lot, and you make that happen financially. And that's just, it's such a great gift to our students and to the well-being of this building. So thank you very much to both of you and all the team back in the business office that makes all this magic happen. But it's really terrific, so thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to the board, you know. You guys set the pace and the tone, so thank you.
Okay, Monique.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. How will our incoming freshmen and parents know about this? Or
Yes.
know to even ask for help or reach out to you? Like, are we communicating to our 8th graders and parents?
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's a mailing that goes out each summer regarding student fees. Also, when students are doing freshman orientation, that's another opportunity where they'll be hearing about student fees. I actually had a suggestion come up from someone in my department this year about having a visible table. So usually we're in the office and we stay late so that people can come and buy their venture cards and we can talk about their fees, but we're in our office and they're directed to our office. Instead, we'll be coming out of the office to make sure that we're visible for all to know, hey, we're right here, we're ready to help, what can we do? So that's just another thing that we'll be implementing, but we're always kind of looking for ways to make sure that students and families are aware of what can be done.
I'd also say, we'll have a brand-new communications director to strategize about how we can do things to be a little bit different than what we always do, right? All right.
Well, that'd be good, because the student fees were the last thing I was thinking about for my incoming freshmen, right? I mean, it's overwhelming. So I know for some families, they don't know about it until it's too late. Then it's like, what? What did this? So some of our families don't know that we do this, and they definitely don't know why this is done. So I just think it's important to communicate the multiple ways or however many ways you can, but definitely to not do it inside the business office. That's right. Because I feel like I'm paying a utility bill or something. So, right? And it's more to it than that. And so I just know, because I always hear, like, last minute, I didn't know you all were charging for, this is a public school, and so they don't get that. And I get that it's a small percentage of our, overall budget, and I guess the communication person can address this. I wouldn't negate the importance of that number. I mean, personally, I wouldn't say that, because it is critical that we need parents to participate in this because of so many reasons that we want to make sure that this education is at its highest standard that it can be, and so forth and so on. Because when I hear that, I'm like, well, why are we doing it then? And I don't want that to be the response of families saying, if it's not that much, then why are we charging? No, we're charging because we have to, because of all these things and these reasons, and we want you to know and be informed and be transparent, which I know you have been. So, just talking for the folks in the back.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate the perspective and the reframe, because definitely, while it may, like I said, it's less than 1% of our budget, but it's no drop in the bucket. We're talking about nearly $1 million.
Yeah, right.
Right? So nearly $1 million goes a very long way
Right.
when we're talking about how it can support extracurricular activities, right? That pull so many of our students in, and all of the different ways that we're able to utilize that to go way, I mean, people talk about, well, it's a public school and free and public education, but that's like below that. We're doing way more than that here, way
We are.
more.
We are.
We're not talking about the minimum, right? And if we want to continue to expand what we're able to offer to our students, this is one of the ways that allows us to do that. And so I in no way would want someone to think every dollar is important to me. So I want to make sure that is clear. So thank you, Monique.
Thank you. We do know that every dollar is important to you, because really all of what we do here really often rests on back in your office. So I also appreciate you supporting our goals and our values, and really making sure that all of our students have access to all the great things we have here at ETHS. So thank you so much. Thank you to your office. Thank you to your team. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Applause. Let's see if we pause these FOIAs. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the item number 7, FOIAs. Dr. Bavis, I think we have a few.
Yes, we have 7 FOIAs: Lukaszewski, Diani, Creasy, Hernandez, Godlewski, Ginsburg, and Hayden, and the responses are in your packet.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next item is board committee reports. And I know we had a board committee meeting, the city schools meeting a couple of days ago. I did not do a report for that committee. I don't know, Liz, if you were able to do anything, or?
We all had to leave early because we were
We did.
presenting at the scholarship night.
We left early.
missed a lot of it.
So we missed that meeting, so I think we should wait for the minutes to come out for that meeting.
Okay.
From what I could see, the beginning of that meeting really mirrored what was at the beginning of the previous meeting, so I'm sure there might have been other things added, so we'll wait. Any other board committee meetings?
No, we have a discipline committee tomorrow.
Okay, okay. So we'll hear a few next month. All right, so we are at the student board report. So Nicole, looking
All
forward
right,
to
I'm
this.
just gonna pop a squat over there with, I don't know why I said that. We're just gonna move over there for this student report. Sorry. All right, so just a little bit of a scenery change, Today I'm here with two of my classmates and friends who I've been collaborating with on like a separate project in a different extracurricular called Emerge. It's a leadership program we have here at ETHS, which I probably have mentioned a little bit before, but we're just gonna jump right in. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacques Philippe.
My name is Brandon Roseman. We are restorative justice. Okay, so what is restorative justice? Just a show of hands, anybody who has heard of restorative justice, just raise your hand if you know what restorative justice is, if you've heard of it. And then keep your hand raised if you have actually participated in restorative justice in any form or fashion. So that's great. There's a lot of hands raised, but there's also a lot of hands down, and that's the number that we're looking to increase. So restorative justice is the idea of responding to conflicts and harm, crime, etc. in a reparative way. Usually in situations where harm has been done, responses are typically like disciplinary or punitive practices, which is very expressive in schools, as we see in terms of like suspensions and detentions and things like that. Restorative justice kind of offers an alternative to that. So what do restorative justice practices look like? They address and discuss the needs of the school community, resolve conflicts and hold individual groups accountable, repair harm and restore positive relationships between students to students, staff to students, and staff to staff, and reduce, prevent, and improve harmful behaviors, and build healthy relationships between the educators and the students within this building.
All right, so just a little bit about what we did last year. So this is an ongoing project that we've had in Emerge. We had a panel discussion last year with ETHS staff members, including Dr. Kinsey, Dean Boyd, Mr. King, who's our restorative practices coordinator here at ETHS, the SROs, and then a few more other administrators who sat on that panel. Students were able to come with their classes, and they were able to learn about ETHS's administration's perspectives on restorative justice and ask questions of their own. So our goals coming into this year, we're continuing to work with the Moran Center, and then we wanted to create mediation and conflict resolution programs, family group conferences, spaces for students to feel safe and supported, change the way we think about discipline, which we talked a little bit about last month or the month before in our discipline report, and then also eliminate punitive responses to conflict. So basically a culture shift.
Yeah, so as Nicole said, we work with the Moran Center. At Emerge, you always have a community partner that you're going to work with. The Moran Center is located on Dempster Street, where Valley is, Dempster and Dodge. And they offer a bunch of different resources. A lot of the times it's the students, so it could be legal services, mental health services, and the thing that we are focusing on, restorative services. So we have collaborated with a bunch of the Peace Builders, which we have been very, very lucky to work with. Emmerich Mazabuku, Pam Citronbaum, ETHS alum, Aries and Amari, also ETHS alum, and then Janet, who are all Peace Builders. Then our method, so the way we implemented or tried to build restorative practices into ETHS was holding community building circles for students. We held those twice a month on a variety of topics about safe spaces, community, and mental health. We worked with Erin, who's here today, Miss Hamilton, and a bunch of different people, and the biggest thing was just inviting all these students together during lunch in the community service office and just having people able to come in together and talk. A lot of the times, some of the students were even able to facilitate, which is something we were very, very happy with, and it's exciting to see that we're able to participate in it too, because this is something we definitely believe in. And then at the end of the year, we held affinity-specific circles called the Solidarity Series. That was with Miss Hamilton. So we held spaces for Black boys, LGBTQ, and seniors, and that's something we hope to continue next year.
So our training, which started for us three last year, we started working with the Moran Center. Towards the ending of our last school year and during the summer, we received training in which we learned how to lead restorative practices, restorative justice circles, and implement restorative practices into our everyday lives. Since attending these trainings and sessions, we're now able to lead our own circles at the school. those Jacques kind of talked about, they are kind of community building circles where we're able to begin to establish relationships with each other, but then also kind of understand like some issues that students may be dealing with while attending ETHS in ways that we as students can be a support to them and bring those things to the staff in the building, and then kind of begin to have a more cohesive community within ETHS. So our kind of analysis over the course of our year, some of our strengths have been people who didn't know about restorative justice were able to learn more about what restorative justice is and actually be able to get involved and attend the circles that we held. We also were able to sustain relationships with the Moran Center, and were able to make a stronger plan to take more action going into the next year, which we'll talk about later. Some of the weaknesses or struggles that we had was the scheduling, which interfered with the availability of connecting with one another, as we are all seniors and athletes in the school and captains on our respective teams. It was a little difficult kind of setting aside time in order to kind of meet with each other to be able to coordinate when we would host those circles and when we would plan for the circles. And this year, we focused more on spreading the word about restorative justice and didn't really get the chance to take a lot of the action that we kind of set in the beginning of the year in terms of our goals. But still, like, progress is slow, so understanding that, like, that just building that first step in building community within ETHS is a really good big step.
Awesome. So our circles have helped many students at ETHS learn about what RJ is and recognize ways they can explore using restorative practices in their own lives. Additionally, we were able to gather information on student opinion on certain aspects of ETHS that may benefit from a shift to restorative methods. So within circles, we were able to have one-on-one conversations also and just really gauge like what students were feeling, and especially about like the topic of that specific circle. We were also able to have some conversations with Mr. King that I mentioned earlier, who's our restorative practices coordinator. He let us know that some of the work we were doing was actually already being implemented in his work with the dean's office. So going back to that communication you mentioned earlier and that coordination.
Yeah, so heading into next year, as we all mentioned, we're all seniors, so we won't be here, but we're going to pass the baton off, hand it off to another group of students to continue working on this. We want to work closely with Mr. King, as Nicole mentioned, the restorative practice coordinator here at the building, to get students more involved in restorative justice and try and shift more to conflict resolution circles instead of, well, the ones that we've only been doing have been community building. So again, shift to conflict resolution circles, possibly even have some of the students facilitating them. We want to continue holding circles for ETHS students based around community building. We got a lot of feedback throughout the year, and one of the things that really stood out to me was that ETHS is a great school, all these different opportunities, but you can sometimes get lost just because of how big it is, and just trying to build that community, like we just said, by having these types of circles. And then holding circles for ETHS staff. Throughout the year, we had a couple of staff members able to attend. Dr. Kinsey came to one of the circles, which was great, but inviting more teachers to come in, more SROs, safety, et cetera, and also possibly shifting the format of our circle, such as like a Socratic, what's it called? Socratic seminar or a fishbowl, where it's an inner circle talking and then an outer circle listening, and just having different people either on the inside or the outside, whether it's like students and safety, or safety on the inside and students on the outside, just shifting up how we've been holding circles.
Yeah, so just to emphasize, like, once again, like, restorative practices and restorative justices are all about, like, this, our mindset going into this project and, like, looking at ETHS is just really a culture shift, and something that we want to ask of you all is, like, kind of the ways that maybe you can support us in more, like, policy ways, I guess, because, again, it is a culture shift, and we need, as like a whole school, as a whole community, to come together to really make this an impact, to make an impact. And yeah, okay, so thank you. Any questions?
Well, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. And it's always good to hear how restorative justice practices are being implemented here at ETHS, especially by the students and how this continues to grow. So thank you so much. Board, anybody, any questions? Dr. Campbell?
I just want to say congratulations to all of you seniors.
Yeah.
Job well done.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the truth was that Nicole is holding on to a mic because this is her mic drop moment. It's her last student board report. It's a fake mic.
Okay, well, Nicole, so this is,
Yeah.
were you gonna say more?
Oh no, I just wanted to like this was originally supposed to be a part of like the student well-being report, and that kind of got moved to the next board meeting, and we won't be there for that. So we wanted to
Okay, that's helpful.
kind of use this like opportunity, the student board report time. So thanks, Dr. Campbell, for letting us do that. We appreciate you, and yeah, that's it. I've talked a lot today. Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Well, so Nicole, this is your last board meeting, your last meeting with us, and we all want to express our appreciation for you. You've been with us for 2 years, and which is a lot. You've seen us grow. You've not shied away from some difficult conversations. You've been right here at the board table when we've been trying to figure out and navigate some pretty complex issues. And I've always appreciated how you've come in and weighed in on that, and your comments have been really thoughtful. You recognize that you're trying to represent your peers, but with caution, because you know that you can't represent all of your peers and all the various perspectives. And I've just really appreciated your sensitivity to that. Thank you. Congratulations on your awards, your recent award. You know, I was there for scholarship night, and that was really exciting. You were up there a lot. So that was really good.
If I may add one thing,
Yes,
Ms. Williams?
of course.
Yes, thinking about Nicole, and I know you're about to do the presentation, I just think this really fits, that Nicole won the Outstanding Senior Award,
Yes.
which is what you were talking about, and I just think it's worthwhile to explain to everyone that that was nominated, that's a scholarship nominated by peers. So Nicole was nominated and won the Outstanding Senior Award for a senior who ranks first among the members of their class in all-around qualities: intellectual ability, capacity for leadership, sense of responsibility, and distinguished service to school and community. Congratulations. I had to say it.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us more information about that award, because that was really awesome tonight. Any other board members would like to speak? Yeah.
Do I unmute? Dear Nicole, when I used to get to sit next to you over there, it felt like such an honor, because to sit next to a student is such a, I think, even a more impressive window into what's happening. And we'd write notes back and forth. And I loved your questions and your teeny tiny writing. And I really respect your ability to sit and engage, and then to ask me those questions, because it really kind of pushed me to think more about what was happening. So, and I wish you good luck, and I want you to keep this enthusiasm that you have. Even the other day when we saw each other at the track meet, and you're like, hey, you know, I'm like, oh, that's so cool, because she could just like walk past me and be like, you know, but you didn't and you don't. And there's something really beautiful about that. So keep that about yourself, and good luck out there. Yeah.
Nicole, I just want to say it has been a real treat to have you here with us at the school board table for 2 years, which really is notable. I know everybody else is going to remark on that as well, but it's a rare event. I mean, I've been on the board for 15 years, and we haven't had anybody else do it while I've been here. So I think it's really tremendous. And as others have already said, this might get repetitive, you're a terrific representative of all students in this school. It's, I think, probably a uniquely hard thing to do in a place like ETHS, where the variety of our students is vast. But you've done a masterful job at that, even when the issues are very difficult, and there have been a few difficult issues where I think you have really stood out for your ability to come to this board meeting, make your report, and confront some of those tough issues. I can just think of a couple times in particular, which we don't need to rehash. But I also need to remark on the best thing of all, which is that you're going to Carleton College in Minnesota, which happens to be the same school that both of my children attended. And we have a really good pipeline of students going there from ETHS. So you're following in the footsteps of so many students. Hopefully, maybe you'll have a couple of ETHS companions there this year. I don't know. But I think you're really, from what I know as a parent of a Carleton student, it seems to me that you are very well suited to that campus, and it's just a beautiful place, and I wish you all the best there. And please stay in touch with us. Good luck.
Liz.
Hi, Nicole. I just wanted to say it's been really great having you on our board for the last 2 years. I always appreciated that you came prepared to our meetings. And I know that, you know, it's impossible for one person to really represent a school this big, but you were very conscientious and thoughtful in making sure that many different student voices were heard in your reports. So I just wanted to say thanks again. And did I hear correctly that you are going to be studying pre-med and pre-law? Oh my gosh. Well, you have a very exciting path ahead of you, so I wish you all the luck.
That's wild.
Okay, Pat.
So a lot of repetition, but it's really been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit. I don't sit on your side of the table, which I said to you at the beginning. It's hard. We don't get it. These meetings are a little more challenging, but your role here has been so important, and I think, as others have said, you really ask good questions and weren't afraid to ask the questions, which is a lot. I mean, there are a lot of adults who, much older than you, who would have a hard time asking some of the questions that you've asked, and you know, probe areas that we need to think about, that we haven't quite gotten where we want to get yet. And I think partly that you are able to do that because you are so involved and so engaged in the school community, and I think more broadly in the community. And that is a really powerful tool in your toolbox, and I really hope that you take that with you. We saw tonight what happens when students get together with adults and make change, and you can continue to do that as a student in college, but also as one of us someday when you're, you know, older and on a school board or a part of community organizations or protesting against community organizations, whatever the role. I think you really have a very strong voice that you have worked hard, it seems to me, to cultivate through action, through listening to other people, to working with other people. And those are skills that really, I believe, are the most important ones that you'll take with you. So I hope you'll continue to polish them and use them. So congratulations on almost graduating. We'll see you on Sunday, next Sunday, I guess, or this Sunday. And have a great time at Carleton. Don't have as much experience as Gretchen, but I do think it's a wonderful place, and they're lucky to have you, and you'll meet some terrific people too. So thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, Nicole. So I'm going to ask that you come around and,
Can I say something?
oh, I'm sorry, Monique.
That's okay.
So sorry.
She's ready to have you go around.
Yeah.
So I didn't go to Carleton. I graduated from the University of Minnesota, so, you know, I was saying, yeah, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I appreciate about you, Nicole, is your authenticity. I mean, you are just authenticity. You just have the ability to be yourself no matter the situation. And I didn't know you were going into pre-law. Is that what Gretchen loves that? You're doing that. That's really, really good. That's really good. Because you know what? You have a way of saying things and creating a sting in a very, quiet, storm kind of way.
Yeah.
And I mean, there have been some times when you've told us about ourselves, and I was just like, oh, okay, let me just sit in it, right? Because it was true, it was honest, but you were authentic, and you presented it from a place of compassion and caring and just being very honest. That maybe we're not who we think we are all the time, right? And you have been that voice for so many different students, and you've also recognized when student voices were being unheard. And so to be able to do that, I know I didn't do that when I was your age. So to be able to do that in this capacity, I think you even stung us at the joint school board meeting. You just do it, and I don't think you know that you're doing it, or you may know you're doing it, but it is so good. And I'm saying, don't lose that. Don't lose that ability to be bold and to be brave, and to still be who you are. Take up the space that you stand in, because you're powerful.
Awesome.
I just want to say thank you. Again, I've had so much fun being on this board. The first time I ran, I was like, wow, this would be a good thing to try. And the second time, I was like, wow, this is the place where I feel like I really belong, and I have a lot of fun. And I think that you all have definitely shaped a lot of my high school experience. So thank you to you all, too.
Thank you.
Now you can.
Okay, now we'd like you to walk around.
Take the walk. The first one before the real walk. The one that really.
Your diploma 8 times.
We'll let Gretchen do it. Are you at graduation? Yeah. So we'll let you do it.
Well, you're gonna be there.
Yeah, but I'm not competing with Gretchen. I said, we'll let you hand her diploma. I said, I'm not competing with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
This is for you, from the board.
Thank you very much.
What is it? I always wonder what's in that.
I don't know. Last year I got a paperweight.
Hopefully it's not another paperweight.
Actually, she got one of these.
Is it another paperweight, Marcus, Dr. Campbell?
Lisa knows. Lisa knows.
Lisa?
It's something.
It's something.
The gift. What is the gift?
You're not in that. You're not in that. Is it a paperweight? Lord have mercy.
It's crystal.
It's two.
It's crystal.
So she has two. Okay, okay. You're gonna be like, look.
Wait. Oh, is she gonna sit back there?
Yeah, she is.
Exhale now.
Oh, with those two majors.
You need that. You'll need that. Okay, so Nicole, and for everybody, so we are really at the point now where we are going to review the student election, and we'll hear the oath for the student board representative, and Dr. Bavis is going to lead us in that.
All right, so I have this resolution declaring the results of the student board election. I'll just read it real quick. Be it resolved by the Board of Education, District 202, County of Cook, State of Illinois, that the return from the student election held April 12, 2024 in said high school district for the purposes of electing one student member and one student alternate member of the Board of Education of said district to serve from May 13, 2024 to May 2025 are as follows, and those results are in your packet. So here we go. Therefore, the Board of Education finds and declares that the following are duly elected student members with the office as specified below. The Board of Education. Rachel Durango Cohen is our student member for Board of Education. Woo! And Anna Stevenson is our alternate student member for the Board of Education. And if we could, Anna, and if we could get a, we actually have to motion and vote on that.
Okay. So could we have a motion to recognize and accept Rachel Durango Cohen as our new student rep and the alternate Anna Stevenson. Could we have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Auntie?
Yes, I'm messing with them.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay.
All right, and now we will do the oath of office at the podium here. So join me up here.
Okay. Do I have to repeat? Okay.
I, Rachel Durango Cohen,
A student member of the Board of Education
a student member of the Board of Education
of Evanston Township High School,
of Evanston Township High School,
District 202,
District 202,
County of Cook,
Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution
to support the Constitution
of the United
of
States
the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Illinois,
and
faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
to which I have been elected.
to which I have been elected.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take your nameplate.
No, just the plate though, right?
Every once in a while. All right, next up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Welcome, Rachel. How does it feel? Get used to it. It's good to have you here. Yeah, good. Okay. So we'll go on with our meeting. And the next item is the superintendent's report. Dr. Campbell.
All righty. Congratulations and welcome, Rachel. All right. We're approaching the end of another academic year, and the final months are always, busy with activity. And this month was no different. Since the board met last, we have had our We've opened a new Health Science Center. We've held our Middle Eastern North African Student Summit. We've had our Abilities Conference. We've had Matilda the Musical. We've had our Climate Justice Conference. We were honored to welcome ETHS alum Attorney General Alan Rosenblum of Oregon, Attorney General Brian Schwab of Washington, D.C., and Attorney General Kwame Raoul to ETHS for a discussion on the influence of social media and mental health, the well-being of students. The event convened students in an open exchange, delving into topics and complex challenges posed by social media and exploring avenues through which attorneys generals can champion healthier online experience for youth. We were especially proud to welcome Attorney General Rosenblum back to her alma mater. So it's been a very, very busy month. We've also hosted a STEAM Design Thinking and Innovation capstone demonstration where we welcome back ETHS alum Gordon Siegel to our STEAM Design Thinking class. This partnership with Northwestern University provides a unique college preparatory experience that engages students in applying science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math through innovative lens of design thinking. And I attended those presentations with the other ETHS staff and administrators. There's a lot happening. We had our Latinx recognition ceremony, and we've also held the Teacher Excellence Awards during Staff Appreciation Week. So last week was the Staff Appreciation Week at ETHS, and our staff wear many hats and in various roles. They're mentors, advocates, cheerleaders, listening ears, and so much more. And every student deserves educators who go above and beyond to support their success. Our staff are at the heart of our school, embodying the values that make ETHS so special. And we're deeply appreciative of the way they show up for every day to serve our students and our community. So I want to recognize once again and congratulate the recipients of the Teacher Excellence Award, Erica Seaver from World Languages, Claire Getzoff, Special Education, Angela Senga-Gatson, English, and Tolly Walker in our English and Reading Department. And so since 1975, the ETHS tradition has been recognized, the exceptional leaders for their outstanding work. So congratulations to those teachers who were recognized last week during Teacher Excellence Awards. We've had many senior events. On May 8th was the last day of school for the class of 2024, and we celebrated their journeys with our annual, well, it's not annual, now it's annual, our senior send-off. And usually the kids would, last day of school, the seniors would just go to the parking lot, and we were all very terrified of the things that were happening in the lot. So we gave them a structured environment now with their food trucks and ice cream, give them an opportunity to socialize, sign yearbooks, and be happy that they have just finished their time at ETHS. And this past Saturday, we held prom at Navy Pier with over 800 students who attended and participated in prom Saturday night at Navy Pier with no issues. So I'm really happy that our students, as we would expect, right? And lastly, but not least, our boys gymnastic team competed at state for the first time since 1972. That's 52 years. And not only did they compete, but they came in home as medal winners in various competitions. Our very own Eric Van Leer, class of 25, is the vault state champion, and the team itself was the state runner-up. Congratulations to our boys gymnastic team. And our girls badminton also competed at state this weekend and made us proud. And finally, our girls water polo team will be headed to state soon after winning the sectional championship. Congratulations to all, and wow, ETHS, what an amazing school. We have a lot going on, and congratulations to all of our students and staff that we recognize tonight.
Wow.
That concludes my report.
That's quite a report.
That's quite a report.
It's been quite a few weeks. All right. Okay, so we are at our next item, number 12, organization of the board. So I would like to call for a motion.
And by the way, that memo in there is not from Eric Witherspoon, the superintendent. It's
By the
from-
way,
it's-
yes.
So we'll continue just-
We'll fix it. Yeah, we'll fix it. Yes. All right. I'd like to call for a motion with the roll call vote to be made to retire the board to Sine DA. Could we have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so, Dr. Davis, you are now the president pro tem.
I'd like to call the,
Your mic.
like to call the meeting back to order, and ask for a roll call.
Here. Here.
Here? Here.
Here.
Here?
Here.
All right, so I'm going to take nominations for the office of president, and then vice president and secretary to follow.
Yeah.
Nominations need not be seconded. Each nomination will be voted on in the order of their nomination, and once a candidate receives a majority of votes of the board, 4 votes, the election process is over. So I would like to call for nominations to the office of president of the Board of Education for a 1-year term.
I nominate Pat Savage Williams for president of the Board of Education.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? I'm going to close the nominations and call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Now the new president will assume the chair and continue the elections.
Thank you. All right, so I'd like to call for a nomination for vice president of the board.
I would like to nominate my colleague Monique Parsons for vice president.
All right. Are there other nominations for vice president? Hearing none, I'll close the nominations. Could we call for a vote, please?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so now I'll call for nominations for secretary of the Board of Education for a 1-year term.
I nominate Pete Bavis as Secretary of the Board of Education.
Are there other nominations for secretary?
Sorry, Pete.
I'd like to close that nomination. And could we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. And so I'd like a motion to appoint Kendra Williams as the school treasurer of the Board of Education for a 1-year term with a compensation of $1,000.
So moved?
Second.
All right. The motion is on the floor. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So our board has just reorganized, so we're good for a year. All right. So we're at item number 13, and I'm just going to read all of these items together. Organization of the board, approval of the following resolutions. A, resolution ratifying acts, contracts, policies, and bylaws. B, resolution designating signatory. C, resolution regarding check signatures. D, resolution establishing dates to review closed session minutes. E, resolution establishing regular meeting dates and place. And F, resolution ratifying approved depositories.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, item 14, items for action. The first item is approval of Pride Month resolution, and I believe Pat Munsell is going to read that for us.
Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Pride Month 2024. Excerpts from past proclamation by President Joseph R. Biden, Jr. Whereas the uprising at the Stonewall Inn in June 1969 sparked a liberation movement, a call to action that continues to inspire us to live up to our nation's promise of equality, liberty, and justice for all. Whereas Pride is a time to recall the trials the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ+ community has endured, and to rejoice in the triumphs of trailblazing individuals who have fought bravely and continue to fight for full equality. Whereas the LGBTQ+ community in America has achieved remarkable progress since Stonewall. Whereas historic Supreme Court rulings in recent years have struck down regressive laws, affirmed the right to marriage equality, and secured workplace protections for LGBTQ+ individuals in every state and territory. Whereas all of our progress, there are many states in which LGBTQ+ individuals still lack protections for fundamental rights and dignity in hospitals, schools, public accommodations, and other spaces. Whereas our nation continues to witness a tragic spike in violence against transgender women of color, LGBTQ+ individuals, especially youth who defy sex or gender norms, face bullying and harassment in educational settings and are at a disproportionate risk of self-harm and death by suicide. Whereas we recognize the resilience and determination of many individuals who are fighting to live freely and authentically. Whereas we affirm our obligation to hold the dignity of all people and dedicate ourselves to protecting the most vulnerable among us. Now, thereby, be it resolved that the Board of Education of Evanston Township High School, District 202, recognizes the month of June 2024 as Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Pride Month, and celebrates the achievements of the LGBTQ+ community and the great diversity of the American people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Could I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Next item is approval of special education transportation contract.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item is approval of administrator and exempt staff salary increases for the year 24-25.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. And the consent agenda is the next item, and that consists of approval of minutes from March 11, 2024, regular meeting and closed session, approval of bills, treasurer's report from February 2024, personnel report. Yeah, that's it, those.
The short one.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Next item is old and new business. Are there any old or new business? Polling of the board. Just want to say, when we're back here for our next meeting, school will be out. So we'll wish everybody a really safe, wonderful, restful summer. And
Congratulations
congratulations
to
to
our seniors.
the seniors. Yes, the graduating seniors, which we'll be able to celebrate on Sunday. All right. Could I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All right, this meeting is adjourned at 9:29.